right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching our weekly vlog. I am Sam, DJ Lumberjack. What's going on, everybody? How is everyone out there? Woo! Just had enough time to get in the shower. Please forgive me, doing things during the day. Sometimes you don't get to shower right away. So, welcome. Happy Friday. Happy Mother's Day, early Mother's Day to all the mothers out there, because we aren't doing another show until next Friday. So we want to wish Happy Mother's Day to everyone. And if you don't know about this vlog, it is basically a weekly update of my personal and professional development with Viral Media Network. Viral Media Network is a company that produces its own videos, content such as this. We have a podcast we're going to talk about later that we interview other creative professionals and freelancers and ask what makes them tick and things that they do. And we do other, funny and interesting, entertaining YouTube videos. We have a local hiking video. We have a parody on Mystery Science Theater. And we got more. One of the newer shows we're going to be developing that coming out in the next month or so is DJ Lumberjack, will take, excuse me, albums that I find from I usually crate dig at thrift stores, Goodwill, Salvation Army, that kind of thing. Sometimes I buy new stuff. Sometimes I go to other bookstores and things like that. But basically, I like the sort of just randomness crapshoot of, seeing what I can get from, giveaways or estate sales or thrift stores, that kind of thing. So, sometimes I don't know what it is until I listen to it. So I'm going to be doing videos of albums. They're basically like thrift store finds, and listening to the first time and my reaction and that kind of thing. And it's motivated from a YouTube channel that I recommended on this show, Jamel, not Jamal, who does his own album reviews, and it's really funny. He has a whole series about just within that of Weird Al Yankovic songs, which is really funny, that I was watching last night. But I digress. This vlog is basically about things that are happening day to day, personal development and professional development with Viral Media Network, especially in the time of the pandemic and the coronavirus. So welcome. And basically what I want to start off the show is talking about Ahmaud Abery. He was gunned down and in cold blood, mind you, while he was running. So before I get into the details, you might have done it already, you might have heard, maybe you're not a jogger, but because he was running while he was killed, today we are honoring, and I think it's even his birthday today, we are honoring him by, if you can and you're able-bodied, to do a jog, even if it's just 10 minutes, 20 minutes, but jog for Ahmaud Abery. And that will honor his legacy. But it's already 3 p.m. Pacific time, so if you're getting this maybe on the East Coast, maybe it's too late. But, do it tomorrow if you can. So yeah, that's I wouldn't call this the topic of the day per se. It's kind of like my opening monologue, but my whole thing is there's two takeaways. So this crime happened in February, as you might know. I'm not going to show the footage. It's too graphic. I'm just going to talk about what happened. But he was a black man, young black man, running in maybe a different neighborhood. I'm not exactly sure the details. But basically, a father and son were driving by, and they shot him in cold blood. There's a fight that ensued, and it's basically, it's all wrapped up in, the state. Where did this happen? Georgia. In Georgia, they have a stand your ground kind of, sort of like Zimmerman, was with Trayvon Martin, and citizens arrest kind of thing. So they felt like they were being sheriffs taking this guy down, and they killed him. But this article that I have a link to in the description of this basically talks about how they have sufficient evidence, the U.S. state, the investigators in the state of Georgia, there is sufficient evidence to file murder charges against the two men accused of shooting an unarmed African-American in the coastal city of Brunswick. So this didn't happen from the police or anyone involved taking action. This happened from social outcry on social media, people posting, it's father son of Gregory and Travis McMichael. And again, they're innocent until proven guilty, but there's a pretty damning evidence that and it's pretty clear that these are who they are. So I think the video is here, but once the video was sort of widely circulated, like it says here in the article, a national outcry for justice across the political spectrum, with everyone from Joe Biden to Donald Trump chiming in on the case. So even Trump says, very disturbing, he hopes justice is served. So again, I don't want to make this show too political, and that's why I haven't talked about it, because it was sort of brewing last week. But I wanted two positive takeaways from this that I always like to do from things like this is you can now today run in his honor. And this happened because of the public outcry that you did. If you helped post something or you helped call, the people in Georgia involved to prosecute, then you helped. And so that collective social outcry brought action. So thank you for that. And that's pretty much all I have to say about the matter, except for I want to know when enough is enough. My journey in all this started with the Trayvon Martin case. My opinion back then actually was quite different. I evolved and I came to light as to the reality of police brutality and the injustice served by the black and brown community. Namely, how, my original opinion when Trayvon Martin happened was this is all the way across the country. What does this have to do with Oakland? We have enough problems in Oakland to worry about than to worry about a kid that was killed in Florida. But since then, and very quickly, from having good friends and good social justice, advocates out there that have educated me, a threat to justice anywhere is an injustice to all, right? So that basic concept, and the fact that, we had Trayvon Martin here in Oakland. It was Oscar Grant, So when is enough enough? When is it going to end? When is the realization that, and we see it here with the COVID-19. This is the extreme case, but, people not like New York City, people not wearing masks. There's a very different approach to white affluent people in Central Park versus people in the Bronx that are getting arrested, detained, beaten up for not wearing masks or not doing social distancing or being out instead of shelter in place, where people, the bougie crowd just get tickets. So the disparity is real, and it can be something as minor as a ticket versus being arrested, or, people lose their lives because there are, racist people out there that seem to want to take justice into their own hands and kill people in cold blood, and that's wrong, and it hurts me. So I just want to know when enough is enough. So again, I don't want to dwell on this too much because this show doesn't. I'm not trying to get too deep in these things. This is kind of like talking about certain things and moving on, and also personal and professional development with Viral Media Network. But it's just too important that I want to share it and I want to talk about it. So, but yeah, that's basically what I want to, all I want to say about that subject. And we'll move on. As always, we always bless the essential workers that help us day to day, and essential workers are all shapes and sizes, whether they be people that help serve you food, people that work at the gas station, grocery store clerks, people that grow food for us, mail carriers, delivery workers, Amazon associates that are working, Instacart, of course, doctors, nurses, police, except if the racist one, the ones serving injustice, But I digress again. I don't. The first responders, all those people. Thank you, essential workers, during this time. Now we're noticing that the shelter in place is slowly easing up here in California. Things are getting rolled back slowly and slowly. States like Georgia, they're just kind of getting opened up carte blanche. So we're seeing that different states are happening in different. The shelter in place is being lifted in different ways. So we'll see how that pans out. But hopefully I can continue this vlog. This vlog started as a shelter-in-place sort of pandemic thing to keep updates and to keep myself productive while I was stuck at home. But now we're getting out there. We're seeing more things happen. So, we'll be able to develop more content out there besides just this vlog. Speaking of which, we have a new podcast we're going to tease later. And next week, we're going to shoot a new local Bay Area hiking video. So make sure to check out our channel further on this channel, the videos, local Bay Area hikes, the podcast, that kind of thing. So we're going to move on to the topic. We have 3 topics of the day because basically, because it's a weekly show, more things develop, and I want to give it more time. So we have 3 topics of the day, and the first topic is an article that I read about the gangster gardener down in LA. And I've talked a little bit about home gardening on this channel, and this vlog specifically, and how we really started ramping that up when shelter in place happened. So he's doing his part in urban Los Angeles to make gardening more than just a hobby. So I'm going to move this over just so you can see the article a little better. Okay, yeah, your privacy. Okay, I'm okay with that, whatever. And you might have seen this guy before. He is the gangster gardener, and it's not a hobby. Ron Finley is his name, known as the gangster gardener. And he talks about how it takes his mind off things, and everyone should have a garden to cultivate, big or small. And it has to do with accessibility to healthy foods and empowering yourself to take control of your own health. But also just having plants around is good for you, and the act of, even if you just have house plants or flowers or whatnot. It's about cultivating and keeping. It's a part of nature, but also, in places that are food deserts or food prisons, especially in South Central Los Angeles, just tons of liquor stores, vacant lots, drive-throughs, drive-bys, that kind of thing. But he talks about how there's such a great climate in LA, especially, I'm up here in Northern California, but gardening has turned into a survival impulse. But as I've said on the show, it can grow into more of a day-to-day thing and helping to, give you a hobby and an activity, and to just feel rewarded with what you're doing. But this article, if you want to read it more in full, it's in the link to this page. So definitely check that out. So Ron Finley, the gangster gardener, really great article, and another example of how you can really garden anywhere, no matter how much space you are, how much space you have, or what living condition you're in, whether it be an apartment, house, or whatever. The next topic I want to talk about is the Irish are repaying the Native Americans from a 150-year-old debt. They're assisting the Native Americans in this time of need. And as we know, just like the black and brown community, the Native American community, which I guess, you don't want to lump everyone together, but of course they are experiencing, higher numbers proportionately to, proportionate to their population in cases of COVID-19. So donations to the American tribes, and they're flooding in from Ireland as they're paying a debt that goes all the way back to the 19th century potato famine. 41 Native Americans that live on tribes have fallen victim to COVID-19. That's specifically the Navajo Nation. 40% of the Navajos do not have running water at home, and the drought the Southwest has exacerbated this difficulties. And also, I was hearing on the radio about their Medicare system. It's different than regular Medicare. A lot of them are only funded at 16% the rate that they should be. But this is a good deed in a way. I have another specific good deed related to Oakland, but $1.3 million has been raised with donations flooding in from Ireland. It dates back to a gesture made in March of 1847 when the Choctaw tribe, which was gradually reestablishing itself in Oklahoma, having been ousted from its ancestral lands in Mississippi, heard news of the Irish potato famine across the Atlantic. They were asked to dig deep for people thousands of miles away they had never met. They did, and donations poured in. Now, 173 years later, the gesture has been repaid with donors from Ireland opening their wallets to help. So the Native American tribes helped out the Irish in the potato famine, and families that were affected by that potato famine 173 years ago, 150 years ago, roughly, as it says on the graphic, are now paying it back. And I think that's great karma. Yeah, that's a good deed, if you will. So yeah, we're gonna chalk that one up. So thank you to the Irish. I'm actually part Scottish. I like to say I'm Irish to be like, oh, that's my brethren. But, Scottish Irish, they're pretty much related. So that's a really awesome thing. And, the Native American communities are a resilient community, but there are a lot of issues there and a lot of underfunding. So, hopefully that can get resolved. Over across the bay in San Francisco, we have a pretty interesting approach to narcotics. What's happening in San Francisco is alcohol, tobacco, medical cannabis, and other substances, including methadone, which is delivered by methadone clinics. These are all being distributed to low-income people and people that are living in city leased hotels. So these are basically people that are in low-income areas and in some sort of city-sponsored housing that are battling with substance abuse. To keep them sheltered in place, the San Francisco's health department has confirmed that they're administering these substances, and you can see the highlighted area: alcohol, tobacco, medical cannabis, other substances. And the methadone, of course, is to help cope with heroin cravings. It's a harm reduction approach as opposed to complete, zero tolerance. But the idea being, okay, they might be using drugs, which isn't great, but if they expose themselves in out there and they break shelter in place, the coronavirus will start cropping up, and that's a problem. So I think it's interesting. Obviously, it's like maybe a model for complete legalization or highly regulated legalization of all drugs. So we'll see where that goes. Again, I think that's pretty interesting. But I saw that, and we'll see where it goes. I haven't heard of anything major happening as far as crazy overdoses or anything like that. So yeah, pretty crazy. So if you really, I guess you have to be living in one of those. Oops. Let's try that again. And boom. Oh, now I lost both of them. Okay. Oh, wait, no. I was good. Yeah, sorry. Little bit of graphical mistake, but, sometimes that happens. All right. Let's move on. As I mentioned before, I have a podcast, the Sam Jack Podcast. It's a playlist on this YouTube channel, so check it out. Viral Media Network 4 and 5. And while you're at it, make sure you like, subscribe, and share, okay? Make sure you do that because, you know what? I am trying to build this channel. And you can listen to the podcast. You can watch it here on YouTube, or you can listen to it on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, Spreaker, wherever you podcast is, search. But we have a new episode coming out. It's with Richie Cunning and DJ Bad DJ, a.k.a. Steb Montez. We're going to watch a little clip here. I hope you like it. It's the Sam Jack Podcast. Here we go. I had a lot of fun, and we got other episodes coming soon with some great guests. I'm going to talk about that after we watch this. So stand by. Okay, I want to watch more, but
I've only watched one.
It's the RZA Primo, right? So I guess I didn't understand the format because again, like I'm used to like. So here we're talking about Instagram DJ battles,
right? Like it's like where's your like 1 minute set of like cutting it up and then you pass it off and then he's got to. It's not that at all,
right?
Especially not for them.
Yeah.
You're not.
Skip ahead a little bit.
Huh. At least for that one, like RZA and Primo, like they weren't. I feel like they weren't competing.
Right. Showcasing. It was like a showcase.
They're just old school.
I'm gonna play this, and then you play the song that you think matches up with this.
Yeah.
Like
I was drawing a blank. It's been so long, but you play with a bunch of homies. You play with a bunch of folks.
And then he was also telling people because of one shot in the Pure Imagination video, he was telling people like.
So we talk about his music, how it's different about playing live now, and he also works at Academy of Art and Science. So the live events that he helps book there, how that's changed to live streaming, how being shelter in place has helped him actually be more creative because all he is left to his thoughts. So we talk a little bit about that. We talk about a number of issues and topics. So make sure to listen. It's the Sam Jack podcast. If you want to listen to, make sure you subscribe either on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, that kind of thing. But also make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. So if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, I will show you how to do that here. So it's Viral Media Network 415 is the channel. And I'm bringing up the graphic here. No, I turned that off. Viral Media Network 415. The playlist is the Sam Jack podcast. There are other great playlists, local Bay Area hikes, hip-hop kung fu theater. As I mentioned, we're going to be doing some album reviews, some thrift store finds, basically albums I find at thrift stores. Other episodes of the podcast, if I could go back to that real quick, that we're going to have. We have an interview with Ryan Nicole and DJ Champagne Hughes that's coming out this coming week. And then after that, we have artist Danny King that we interviewed on the show. So make sure to check that out. And again, that's on the Sam Jack podcast. You can find it on Viral Media Network 415, or you can, again, subscribe to it on iTunes or Spotify if you listen to it on Spotify, SoundCloud, wherever you podcast. Sprecher, I'm working on Stitcher. I think you have to apply, so I'm working on that. Or just on this YouTube channel, Viral Media Network 415. So that is what's going on with that. I want to move over to the YouTube channel that I'm recommending, other than my own, of course, Viral Media Network 415. And it segues also into the recipe of the week, and it's Joshua Wiseman. He makes awesome sourdough bread. He's a sourdough bread guru. He also does other recipes, like he makes this. He has great YouTube videos, by the way. They're just really awesome, well made. And he has new videos every week, so he's totally killing it. 1.88 subscribers. I need to be doing videos like this every week, but he's just on top of it. So he's got like savory food stuff, but his main passion is bread. So I followed this sourdough starter. I recommended this sourdough starter video on a previous episode, but I finally made some sourdough bread. And these links to these videos are in the description of this video, this live video right here. So beginning sourdough bread, I did that. I followed that recipe, and here is my results. Look at this. I made this bread. It's downstairs. It was great, and it's two loaves. So I made, instead of making 2 loaves, I made a pizza with the other loaf, and that's what the cross section. So I got some nice bubbles. It's not perfect. It needs to be. I would have liked it to rise a little bit better, but if you look at that crust, for the first loaf, I'm pretty happy, and it's all, and then some nice bubbles. This is just for my Instagram, so you can follow me personally on Instagram at DJ Lumberjack. But this is all from a recipe that I had here. Joshua Wiseman, it's the YouTube channel of the week, and that flies into the recipe of the week twofold. How to start sourdough starter guide right here. Look at that, boom. And no knead sourdough bread. This is a lengthy process. It takes about 2 days to do this bread, but I really recommend it. It's super, super, super awesome. So thank you, Joshua Wiseman. Hey, we both have a long curly hair, so maybe we got a little something in common. This dude's probably like 20 years younger than me, and he's killing the game. Like, I don't know. It's just crazy. So that's how it goes sometimes. So I'm getting back on. I'm a little late to the game, but, you know, it's not where you start, it's where you finish, right? I'm giving it more cowbell, too. What can you say? All right, so that's the video of the day, and it's also the recipe. Sorry, this used to be a daily vlog, so if I say it's of the day instead of the week, it's now a weekly vlog every Friday at 3 p.m. So it's the weekly recipe. It's the weekly YouTube channel / video of the day, and we're gonna move on because it's also the recipe. Excuse me. It's the recipe of the week and the YouTube video of the week. So thank you, Joshua Wiseman. You are killing the game. All right. The album of the week is also related to, I got, the 10 album challenge, post 10 albums in 10 days and no explanation, just album covers. So the one I posted yesterday was Stone Temple Pilots' Core. This is a phenomenal album. It's very intertwined with my youth, and we're going to listen to some of the tracks. We're going to preview some of the tracks. And just really awesome. The link to this album, the link to buy this album on Amazon is in just really solid album front to back. This is one of those albums that, like a Gardens of Great. This is literally one of those albums that was a really fun. Creep was a really. I think Plush was their biggest hit. Yeah. When the dogs begin to smell her. Creep and Plush were probably the biggest ones on this album. But yeah, this is literally, wow. And looks like on iTunes they have all this remastered stuff and the unplugged all on the same album. So, the Super Deluxe edition. So I think that's the link that I have on the YouTube. Actually, you can buy it on Amazon. Yeah. Oh, and there's the live vlog. That's what's happening. So, anyways, an album that you can listen to front to back. I listened to this in my formidable years in high school. It came out, I think, when I was a freshman or sophomore in high school. Really, really awesome. This deluxe edition you can find on iTunes, or the link that I have, I think, is on Amazon. But, front to back album, I think it's like 12 or 13 tracks on the original album, and just front to back, everything's awesome on it. And at the time, they really sounded like Pearl Jam, so I think they got sort of labeled as a one-hit wonder, Pearl Jam copy, Pearl Jam / Nirvana. They're kind of like that second, third tier compared to those bands in the grunge, especially because they weren't from the Seattle area, so they sort of got shunned in that way. But, if you look back, they were really a solid band. Solid frontman is Scott Weiland, may he rest in peace. But really, really solid band, and this album in particular. They had another 1 or 2 good albums, but this was their first debut album. Killer. Every song on this is dope, so definitely check that out. I was doing a book, but my wife, critiqued me and said, that's good, but if you're not reading these books and you're just randomly suggesting these books, it's not really good. So, okay. They're good books. I recommend them, but because, especially I was doing it every day, maybe if a weekly one, I would have time to read a little bit of it, but c'est la vie. So I kind of nixed that from the format of the show. So we're just doing YouTube recipe album of the week. And finally, we'll do the podcast of the week. And the podcast of the week, can I get a drum roll, please? Oh, whoops, I had it and then I lost it. Is Fake Doctors, Real Friends. And it's with the guys from Scrubs, who you've probably known and love. JD and Turk. Their actors are Donald and Zach Braff. Forgive me for with Zach and Donald. Okay, sorry, I gotta go to the screenshot so you can see what I'm talking about. These guys here, JD and Turk, and they just talk about stuff that happens in their life. Some of it's related to the show, some of it isn't. You can listen on iOS, Android, wherever. Sprecher. And some of it is sort of like behind the scenes stuff. And some of it's just from their personal life. So forgive me for not remembering their full names, but you get it. It's a great podcast, and I recommend it. So that is pretty much the vlog for the day. I want to thank you for watching. Again, my name is Sam DJ Lumberjack, and I am the host of the show. I'm also the executive producer of Viral Media Network. I'm a DJ, so if you want to do a live stream anytime, I'm going to be doing some live streams soon. I've been really lacking because I've been distracted doing this show, getting the podcast going. We are shooting a hiking video next week. It will be of the Tennessee Valley, Tennessee Beach, and Marin. So look forward to that. We got another podcast coming out with Ryan Nicole and DJ Champagne Hughes. And then the podcast after that will be artist Danny King. We got a couple more interviews in the works, namely Jennifer Johns, Ramsey Anderson, the screenwriter. And who else we got? We got some other stuff. So we got a lot of stuff in the works. The Lumberjack, thrift store finds. That's another content we're developing, and also the Crusher reviewing movies. The first one being Below the Belt. We're gonna get the hip hop kung fu theater back going. And then I just want to say, as the shelter in place lifts and we sort of start to get back to quote unquote normal life, just be careful and don't go from 0 to 60 right away. Be cautious. Still practice social distancing. Be well with each other. And hope you're enjoying this track. I think we got a little echo going on, but I'm digging it. Ooh. So yeah, once again, I'm Sam DJ Lumberjack. This is the Viral Media Network vlog. It's episode 30. Make sure to follow us on Instagram at viralmedia.network. Facebook, Viral Media Network, all 3 words. We're on Twitter, media_viral. Check out our website, viralmedianetwork.com. Check us out next week. We'll be back next week, next Friday, live at 3 p.m. Make sure to check out the new podcast, the Sam Jack Podcast. It's a playlist on this YouTube channel. YouTube is Viral Media Network 415. It's the 30th vlog for Viral Media Network. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Have a great weekend. Take care of your mothers. Justice for Ahmaud Abery and the rest of our young black youth that were killed by the hands of the police or for injustice or in an unjust way. Excuse me. Hope you have a great weekend. And again, take care of your mothers. We'll see you later. Have a great weekend. Peace.